numerous UFO sightings. The best one I had was basically about 2 years ago. I was up at Altby in Wester Ross, and this chap says, "Mr. Robinson, I'm using a torch to flash into the night sky, and I'm getting bursts of light coming down from the sky. Would you like to come up and see this?" Well, I said yes, and I travelled up to Altby, and we did a sky watch essentially. It was a lovely, lovely Scottish scenery, a lovely starry sky. It was a half moon casting a soft glow across the countryside. Lovely, lovely it was. And he said he got his torch out, he started flashing into the night sky, and he says, "Mr. Robinson, this is essentially what I do." His words were no longer out his mouth, and hand on heart, it was a column, a burst of light came tumbling down from the heavens. It was like a rope ladder of light. It just came tumbling down, and it stopped, and it retracted back. It's incredible.
Graham Young.
Can I ask on the other side there, why is it that astronomers, in particular amateur astronomers, who are looking at the sky all the time, especially those that are interested in certain phenomena such as shooting stars and the like, never see things that are unusual? They always seem to see things that can be explained.
There are actually numerous reports of astronomers seeing UFOs in the sky, or lights in the sky.
Have any of you guys?
This is a new phenomenon only in the last 100 years, when people realized that there could be possibly life outside this planet. And I think that long ago they would have said, if there had been aliens and so on. I mean, long ago they had trolls.
Why do you
like
say
that.
it's not?
The Bible's got numerous reports of ufology. There's numerous drawings of UFOs in caves, manuscripts. All the ancient religions have got stories of, like I say, flying shields, flying chariots, flying cars, flying ancient paintings as well. Renaissance paintings, there's objects in the sky flying around.
So how do the astronomers explain this then?
Well, there's numerous explanations for various phenomena. I'll give an example of something that happened last year. There was a report in the Dundee Courier about a group of children who seen a so-called UFO from a park in Broughty Ferry. Now, I happened to have been there at exactly the same time. I was cycling through, I stopped, and I seen something which I knew I could explain. It was the rising thin crescent moon, which was very, very well placed. It was in conjunction with two bright planets. It was on the horizon. The sky was very, very clear, and it looked very impressive, but I knew what it was.
And it was?
I get the impression these children were probably playing in the bushes, and they looked, and they suddenly seen this apparition, and became very, very, well, mildly hysterical.
So that one explanation explains the whole UFO.
Well, it's an example.
I would just like to say that our society try and look for the most rational explanation to account for these sightings. Right. We as well try and provide a rational explanation. In fact, 95% of all UFO reports have natural identifiable solutions. But take it from me, there is clearly something very unusual going on in the Scottish skies. Well,
we have an example of something unusual, a photograph that was taken by a friend of a young lady in our audience, Leslie, here. Now, you, Wright, having a day out with your friends, took some photographs, had them developed, and this came back. What did you think when you saw that?
I wasn't too sure what to think at the first, but after a while of looking through magnifying glasses and speaking to my mum and dad about it, and I kind of just thought it's got to be something, but I wasn't too sure what.
And Donald here, a professional photographer, took a look at it, and you thought what?
I was asked by the News of the World to look into this one. I had a look at the negative, checked all the other negs left, you know, to the end of the film on either side, made sure that it wasn't a processing fault, which it wasn't. I then scanned the negative into a PowerBook and later transferred it into a desktop, blew the image right up, and it was certainly into the grain of the film. I'm very much open-minded on this subject, but I was totally mystified by this one. It definitely wasn't a bird, it wasn't a stone thrown because nobody else was there. It certainly wasn't a plane. It was fast. It was a fast-moving object. If it had been a plane or a bird, the shutter speed would have frozen it dead. But this was cylindrical in shape.
Well, Brian Kelly, you say that you can explain most of the sightings and happenings.
I think that most of the sightings, yes, can be explained. And again, as an astronomer who spends a lot of time looking at the sky, I know that from my own point of view, Graham was saying that astronomers don't see anything unusual. I wouldn't quite go that far. I would say, yes, we do see